Now with the demo of the Weeping Swan. The game is developed by Zero Creation Games and published by Zero Creation Games and 2P Games. This is a standalone sequel of the Hungry Lamp that I played. I didn't beat it because the game was too long and it's a visual novel, but this is a standalone sequel of the original creators of that game. The first one was interesting because the artwork and stuff like that, but of course it's a visual novel, so it takes too much time and too much of read, and of course that starts to hurt the throat because you need to read a lot and stuff like that. But it's always an interesting game to play, and because of the artwork, how it is, of the character and everything like that. So let us see here the demo. Chronicle Chapter 1, The Drunken Dream? I think it was Drunken Dream. That was so fast. It's like slow down. Cursed with this wretched affliction, they call beast's affliction a malady so rare even physicians scoff at its name. 3 years it's been, 3 years since man began melting to beasts before my eyes. Some take the form of docile cattle, others morph into prowling wolves. This curse gnaws at my sanity, eroding my mind like tide upon the shore. Sleep, a forgotten luxury. Each night brings only twisting visions until I'm but a hollow shell, a man who's lost his very soul. I bow to no gods, yet should any divine power grant me reprieve, I'll burn the rarest incense I kneel till my bones break. Officer Yang, your cup never runs dry. Come, allow me to toast you again. Ha, fill them to the brim. Evenings in Jiangnan are never still. The air thrums with drunken laughter and the endless clatter of cups. Clad in rough-spun robes, I slump against the wall, a half-empty jar dangling from my fingers. Through liquor-azed eyes, I gaze into the distance. Now, Scholar Wang had gathered the neighbors for a lavish feast, out to entertain that black-faced armored officer. A faint breeze stirred, making the distant lantern flames tremble, and shadows swayed with the light. Scholar Wang, this liquor's got teeth, bites back just right. Now, what devil's name did you slap on this brew again? Sir, this Shaoxing Nuer Ong, aged since the 42nd year of Wan Li, when your sword was still singing in its scabbard. Nuer Ong? The hell kind of name is that supposed to be? Ah, sir, you struck upon its very soul. This wine carries a tale as rich as its fragrance. Allow me to unfold it for you, one word at a time. Scholar Wang set down his chopsticks with the gravitas of a storyteller clearing his throat. Speaking of Shaoxing customs, when a father hears his daughter first wail, he must begin brewing this very Nuer Ong. 3 acres of glutinous rice distilled into 3 earthen jars, sealed and buried beneath the osmanthus trees. 18 years pass in a blink. When the daughter weds, the father unnerves this liquor as her bridal dowry. Ha, so that's the way of it. This Nuer Ong truly lives up to his name. But tell me one strange thing. Sir, what seems strange to you? If all the Nuer Ong gets sent away with brides, how the hell did this jar end up on our table? Ah, not so. Sir, have you heard of Wadiao wine? Wadiao wine? Wadiao means the withering of flowers, a metaphor for beauty perished too soon. This very jar is intended bright, never saw her 10th winter, sealed 40 years in darkness until I acquire it from a noble house, reserved solely for your distinguished palate. So we are drinking what should have been a grave offering? You sure this won't curse us with some maiden's grudge? Nonsense, haha, absolute nonsense. Drinking Wadiao wine is the most auspicious act. It's a truth well known across the lands of Jiangnan. Good, your word's good enough for me. Even if there's a curse, hell, I've killed enough men to drown it in blood. Come, Scholar Wang, drink with me again. Officer Yang grabbed the wine jar from the table, filling Scholar Wang's cup to the brim before pouring his own. I glanced up, shook my head, and smirked inwardly. The jar on the table? No 40-year vintage, just cheap swill Scholar Wang had scooped up from the inn a few days prior. And as for the name Wadiao wine, it never carried such profound meaning. I once heard the tavern keeper say this liquor is called Wadiao simply because the jars are carved with colored flowers. The withering of flowers? A daughter's story? Haha, all just pretentious nonsense. Flowery lies to inflate its price. Haha, you scholars always drowning in your fancy words. Wadiao wine, good, damn good. Enough, I'm a blunt man, no taste for your pretty dance. You didn't invite me here for the. They can't even put fucking scenery out with it. Huh. I wonder, so because in China they can't say that, is it? So they need to put like that in English too? Officer Yang took another swig, then squinted at him. Well, sir, you have been guarding our peace day and night. It's only proper we show our gratitude as hosts. Save the flattery, talk straight. Ha, I saw this candor, then I'll match it. Truth is, it's a trifling matter. Scholar Wang slams the table with a laugh, pouring more wine. The meandering courtesies finally crumble. At last, after all that preamble, the true purpose surfaced. When the field marshal's troops flooded the city 2 days back, they crammed into war homes, packed like salted fish. Now these guardians demand tributes, 100 coins yesterday, 500 at noon, and a full 1,000 by dusk. Could you speak to them? Even my millstones have their limits. Crack! God damn it, those little shits! Before Scholar Wang could finish, Officer Young's palm slammed the table. The jar of nowhere on leaped, splashing liquor. Every scholar at the table flinched as one. A few days before my whip on their backs, and these maggots there climb over my fucking head. I told them, scrap the people lightly. A few coins for wine, fine, but 1,000 a day? They are begging for broken bones. Sir, please, temper your fury. Please, no bones need breaking. Just whisper in their ears that times are lean. A lighter touch, yes? Damn right, you share your wine with me. That makes you brothers. Brother Yang will have a chat with those little shits. See, they can't say fucking because they need to put like that, but shits they can? Huh, weird. Our gratitude, sir, our deepest gratitude. Scholar Wang raised his cup first. The other tenants exchanged a glance, half rising from their seats. But there's a small matter I'll have you arrange. Just as tenants raised their cups, Officer Yang sat his down with a thud. His grin split his face like a cleaver, biting the crowd to whole. Sir, what do you require? Heh, they say Guanling rival Xingling. Salt merchants dripping silver and no sort of courtesans famed for both beauty and talent. Now me, don't let this rough hide fool you. I got a refinery here for those delicate tunes. Especially, what's called? Pipa. Nothing like a whipping pipa to make a man's soul twitch. They say Guangling boasts a certain courtesan, Su Lianyan. Her people could make the moon weep. Fetch her, I'll have her pour my wine. Su Lianyan. The name struck my chest like a blade, my vision blurred, fixed on nothing. This. His eyes darted to me, then away, before settling uneasily on the officer. Well, sir may not know this, but 3 years ago, Su Lianyan, spit it out, took her own life. He said it like a secret, his voice deep and low, as if the very air might carry it to my ears. The wine jar slipped from my grasp, shattering on the ground. The sun ripped through the room like a gunshot. I stood, staring blankly ahead as the world dissolved around me. A shrill ringing flooded my skull, the hair thickened, shapes melting to nothing. Su Lianyan. Again. Always her name. Always this blade through my ribs, this fire in my brain, this curse devouring me whole. Damn it. Beast's affliction is flaring up again. Cold sweat beads on my forehead, my vision blurring further. Suddenly, before my eyes, the banquet guests' human visage melt away, twisting into bestial forms. Sheep, oxen. The tenants' face twisted, some sprouting woolly sheep skulls, others thrusting forth ox horns. White fleece, black muscles, tawny hides, yellow oxen, black oxen. Horse. Skull's wang features elongated into an equine visage, the gaunt horse face, grey-black mane, bristling at his nape, lips peeling back to reveal tombstone teeth. Jackal. The officer Yang, his head had transformed into a jackal's muscle, eyes glinting like a wolf's, yet far more sly. From his elongated snout, rows of sharp fangs gleamed. Damn it, Beast's affliction consumes me again. This man, why do they all wear Beast's face? Hey, who's that? Why is he staring at me? The jackal-faced officer rose, slit pupil eyes locking onto me. Sir, spare your wrath. This man's an old friend of mine. Heard there was a free wine, came to mooch a drink. The horse-headed Scholar Wang scrambled to his feet, making excuse for me. Alas, his attire stood self for proper company, so I bade him drink by the wall. Oh, this fellow damn peculiar, still staring at us. This must be wine lust. He covets your fine vintage, sheared first, I swear. Is that so? The jackal-faced officer snorted, padding toward me with unsettling interest, his claws clicking on the floorboards. The horse-headed skull Wang glanced between us, panic swimming in his bulging equine eyes. His lids fluttered urgently, whether warning me to avert my gaze from the shackle or begging me to kowtow in apology. I couldn't tell. Perhaps he feared Officer Yang's wrath would derail their scheme. I genuinely trembled for my life, knowing no one wrong move could see my throat slit. And that was no empty fear. 10 years ago, in peaceful times, no officer would dare execute a man without a trial. But now, the world has changed utterly. Month after month this past year, new chaos has reached Xiangnan. The Ming court is but a name now. Its power long hollowed out, the realm has long descended into chaos. What will stop a command of hundreds from killing a mere scholar like me, using drunkenness as an excuse? Urgent report! The shout shattered the stalemate. A soldier burst into courtyard, clutching a paper scroll pierced by command arrow. With each hurried step, his armor plates clashed like angry cicadas. Judging by his garb, he was likely a courier from the city garrison. What is it? Officer Yang wheeled around with a bark. As he spoke, Beast Affliction began to recede, human face swimming back into focus, the world settling into its proper shape. Ha! I exhaled a lungful of cursed hair. At last, some respite. Sir, Field Marshal's orders, urgent dispatch. The courier presented the scroll with both hands. Officer Yang plucked out the command arrow, his brow furrowing as he scanned the document. Move out! Whatever was right on that paper, urgent military orders, no doubt. Officer Yang barely glanced at me before the written content seized his attention, leaving me forgotten. His expression hardened. In one swift motion he rose, snatched the saber leaning against the table, and strode out of the courtyard. The guards at the gate, seeing this, fell into step behind him without hesitation. A safe journey, Officer Yang. A safe journey. Tomorrow night, we drink again. Scholar Wang frowned and wavered, but the officer gave no sign of hearing. With his squad of soldiers, he vanished into the alley behind the courtyard, swallowed by the night. Officer Yang rushed off without even a farewell. The field marshal must have urgent business tonight. Muttering to himself, Scholar Wang stared at the courtyard gate where the officer had vanished. Around the table, guests exchanged glances. A silent unease thickened the air. The tricky party has ended as abruptly as a sphere rope. The men sat stiffly, wondering if their coins had bought them nothing but empty cups, and whether Officer Yang will ever honor their bribes. Scholar Wang leaned in, murmuring to the others. Their hushed discussion soon turned toward me. I felt the weight of their collective gaze like a noose tightening. Scholar Wang took a few deliberate steps closer, his face darkening. Ziho, you reckless fool, how dare you glare at the officer? You have no fear of cold steel? Scholar Wang stepped close, calling my name. His voice was thick with reproach. Reproach, and in its own way, something like kinship. These days he might be the last soul alive who'll dare speak to me in such a tone. As if I will dare provoke him. This cursed madness takes hold, and I'm no longer my own master. A bitter laugh escaped me as I shook my head. The truth was, I'll never find a way to tame this affliction. Enough, I'm gone. I gave a resigned chuckle, brushing the dust from my sleeves as I turned toward the gate. Night's fallen, the roads won't be kind. Won't you stay? No, I burned you enough already. Fine, go then, but mark me. Get home and find somewhere to hide. Stock silver and grain and be ready. Ready for what? Is Marquis Xingping marching again? My voice tightened with suspicion. Last August, Marquess Xingping Gaoji besieged our city, demanding entry, only to be barred by its people. Enraged, he ordered a full assault, yet after a month of bloody stalemate, he slunk away in disgrace. Humiliation festered into brutality. His soldiers were unleashed upon the village, raping, pillaging, leaving naught but ash in their wake. I witnessed it all from the archer tower. For days his cavalry circled our walls, their spears thrust high, each tip crowned with the severe heads of women and children. Those visions surely fed beast affliction festering within me. And now, should he return, few in this city will live to see the next moon. Who can say for certain? Some claim Marquess Xingping comes to storm our walls, and others mutter of the Tatar hordes. Tatars? Thought the beast affliction has left my mind in ruins, erasing the past 3 years. One word still sears my memory. Tatar. Few in Xiangnan have ever beheld a true Tatar, yet their name alone chills the blood. It's so well known that even a newborn might cry at the sound. Tatar, the common folk's curse for those northern savage hordes, the non-hand brutes from the frontiers. The imperial court has waged a war upon them from generations, yet their riders strike like wind. Their arrows like thunder, fierce and untamed beyond measure. Last year, when the rebel Li Shuang declared himself emperor in Xi'an, establishing his great Shan dynasty. By the third month, he will breach the capital, or Chongzheng Emperor took his own life. Then in April, Li Shuang marched to Shanghai Pass, only to be crushed by those very Tatars. Thereafter, Li Shuang, who had occupied the Dragon Throne for barely a month, seemed to have heaven's mandate slip through his fingers like sand. The Tatar hounds ran him to ground, each battle a fresh defeat, each retreat bloodier than the last. These past months, the rumors clashed like crows in a storm. Some claim Li Shuang and Tatars are locked in battle across the Central Plains. Others swear their war drums echo through Shanxi's valleys. Now the newest terror, flames have reached Guang and Xiangnan's borders glow with their approaching light. Something's not right. Weren't the Tatars supposed to be chasing Li Shuang? How could they suddenly be at Yangzhou's gates? Where do you hear these rumors about the Tatars? Xiaoho, do you know Scholar Yu? He's an aide to the field marshal. He says the marshal himself arrived days ago, fleeing the Tatars' pursuit. Yet I still doubt. There's another tale whispered in the taverns that is Marquis Xingping's men disguised as Tatars, seeking vengeance for the past humiliations. We're a bunch of barbarians, they are likely already out our gates. There's no escape, not from this city, not anymore. You're leaning in, his voice dropping to a hushed grasp. Even for one as numb to death as I, the news of the siege stirred something uneasy in my gut. Marquis Xingping's marauders, Li Shuang's rebels, the Tatar hordes, this age truly knew no peace. The night hung heavy. Best return home. Right, I'll head back, find some place to hole up. Oh, got any wine left? Toss me another jar, yeah? Still thirsty, eh? Fine, take that Noir on the table. No taste for drink these days, consider it yours. My thanks, this will keep me company on the road. I flashed Scholar Wang a grin, strode to the banquet table, and under the weight of every guest there, claimed the aged 30-year Noir on. Then, with a flick of my sleeve, I turned and swept out the courtyard, leaving behind a trail of scornful glares and ushered whispers. Wait, Ziho! My foot had barely grazed the threshold when his voice caught me. What is it? I turned back with a lazy smirk. Never mind, it's nothing. He beat back his words as if recalling something, only to think better of it. What was that about? Not that I cared enough to press him. He wanted to say something but didn't. Step, then a nod. I crossed the threshold of Scholar's Wang estate. Then one answered question still coiled in my mind like a sleeping serpent. What had he meant to say? Maybe he meant to bring up that 100 tales of silver I owe him, hoping I'll repay him sooner rather than ever. Or perhaps he wished to borrow a book or two. Poor as I am, I have amassed quite a collection these past years. Or maybe he wanted to talk about Su Lianyan. Su Lianyan. The piece of affliction had picked my memories of her clean, leaving nothing but hollows where she once lived in my mind. They say she was Guangling's finest courtesan, a virtuoso of words and velvet glance. An old friend of mine, we will know each other since childhood, reunited 5 years past, grew closest 4 years ago. Then, 3 years ago, she died. Rumor claims she leaped from 24 breach one night, her body surfacing soon after, adrift among carp and blossom petals. I almost remember seeing her corpse myself, not on the water, I think, but sprawled onto the embankment. Yet, when I claw at the memory, nothing comes. I wandered the city's labyrinthine alleys, but my boots scuffing against moss-slicked tiles. All the while I drank not a single drop of that half jar of Noir wasted. Good liquor. Cheap as it might have been, sure some random purchase of Scholar's Wangs, it wasn't half bad. Mellow on the tongue, lingering like a whispered secret. Damn good. I hadn't walked far when noise pricked my ears. From the house to my right, spilled the father and son's quarrel. Tell me, where's the meat from the jar? What meat? The salted pork I stored. Did you steal it? I didn't. Just the father and son at each other's throats. Curiosity pinned me in place. I listened. Leaning against the wall, I raised one jar and, against better judgment, took another measured sip. Didn't eat it? Don't you dare to lie to me. You think the meat just grew legs and ran off? It was the raccoon dogs. They slipped in. Raccoons can't open doors, let alone seal jars. Then it was Granny. Granny's ghost came back to eat it. You'll drag your grandmother into your lies? I didn't eat it. You are blaming the wrong one. Fine, you wretched spawn. Lying wasn't enough. You dare raise your hand against your father? I'll beat the devil out of you. The man's words were followed by frantic footsteps. I heard the whistle of a rattan cane. He caught the boy, yanked his trousers down, and the beatings came, one after another. I won't, father, never again. Never again. Begging comes too late. I'll flay you alive. You city locked down, the pawn shop bled dry, and you dare test me? I hate it, father, I admit it. The boys' wails and the fuckers rose. I felt like a macabre tie. Ha 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 ha. I couldn't help but laugh from outside the door. Perhaps it was boys' brazen lie that amused me, or perhaps the wine had simply gone to my head, and I just needed any reason to laugh. Either way, I laughed. The wine surged up, my head grew heavy, my steps unsteady. Laughter, ignited by drunkenness, spread like wildfire beyond control. Ha 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 ha! I laughed freely, wildly, without restraint. A laughter impure as if 9 parts mirth had been cut with 1 part weeping, blending into something uncanny. Crash! Suddenly my grip slackened, the jar not yet emptied, shutting down the ground in a burst of ceramic and liquor. The clamor inside the house cut off instantly. Hearing the commotion outside, the father and son fell dead silent, as if the devil himself had passed by their door. The father's hand stilled, the boy's tears ceased. The quarrel, born of stolen meat, a son's deceit, a father wharf, now hung suspended, brittle as the shattered shard's remnants. A household in chaos, feathers plucked, a mess of scowling and strife. Yet, by some perverse twist, my drunken interference, the father now gripped his son closer. The boy clutched his father's sleeve. How absurd! My careless laughter, by sheer accident, became the mortar that patched their cracks. Ha! Exquisite. At this thought, I take another step forward, reaching to raise the wine jar, only to clutch empty air. Ha! The jar slipped from my grasp, shattering to shards. A wry smile tugs at the corner of my mouth. Forget it. With a flick of my sleeve, I tilt my head back and take a long, empty gulp of air, striding forward with purpose. We are so drunk. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4. I continue on my way. The ground beneath my feet is soft and unsteady, never quite firm. It's as if I'm treading on cotton, drifting through layers of clouds. There's a certain ethereal, almost divine sensation to it. After walking a few steps, I suddenly spotted a beggar curled up by the roadside. His hair is matted, his face unkempt, his body wrapped in rags with dry hay underneath him. As I pass by, he notices me. It's as if he's a hunter who just spotted his prey. His eyes snap open, eager, and he raises his crackle ball, begging for alms. Kind sir, have mercy, spare some coins, I haven't eaten in days. The beggar pleads in a voice frail by hunger. Should I give him money? We're gonna give. Here, take it all. I smile, fishing a handful of copper coins from my bosom, clenching them in my fist. I let go, allowing the coins to spill. They clatter to the ground like maidens falling tears. The beggar kneels, cupping his cracker ball as he grins, baring his teeth. Scattered coins, a few lying in his bowl, most spill beneath his body. But he clearly couldn't care less. Thank you, kind sir, thanks a lot. He crawls on the ground, shouting thanks as he scrambles for coins. I shake my hand with a laugh, turning away. Drunk, I stagger onward. I've never been a generous man. These past years have worn me thin. When you can barely keep yourself alive, charity becomes a luxury. But today, a weight sits on my chest. Maybe I wanted to bank some good karma for a future that looks bleaker than ever. Before I knew it, kindness slipped out. Strange, this state of mind. Truly strange. 1 step, 2, 3, 4. Ugh. The farther I stumble, the more steps falter. Soon, I lose count entirely. Ahead, there's a street corner. Over there, a haystack. Heh. This haystack looks just like my bed at top. Dirty as it is, it should be comfy to lie on. Whoosh whoosh. I reel before the haystack, I've had spin worse by the second. Suddenly, my foot twists, I topple backward, crashing straight to the hay. The stack swallows me whole, the stench of grass stings my nose, but it's quickly drowned out by the reek of liquor on my breath. Whew. Beast affliction, beast affliction. When beast affliction strikes, I see city folk as swine and cattle, the troops of Marquis Jinping as wolves, and the officer young as a shackle. What beast should Li Shuang's soldiers resemble? And the Tatar force, what form will their bestial nature take? These questions linger as drowniness tightens its grip. At last, drunkenness drags me under, and I sink into the embrace of dreams. I don't know how many hours I've slept. In the days, I hear a thunderous explosion in the distance. At first, I took it for thunder. After all, it's the rainy season, days of endless downpour, often with thunderclaps. But as I lie here, the sun seems more fireworks exploding. The noise shatters my dream, whipping out whatever I was dreaming. Another one. So noisy. There's not even a festival or temple fair. Who's setting off such loud fireworks in the city? The distant rumble grows louder. No matter how I toss and turn, the relentless fireworks seep into my ears. Time to get up. If sleeps deny me, then up I go. I have a sigh, then jerk upright, prying open bleary eyes. Last night drunk was fierce, standing up, my head pounds like a war drum. After a moment's pause, I prop myself against the stack and rise. No sooner do I rise than another thunderous blast sends me crashing back to the ground. This sound, nothing like festival of fireworks, this is cannon fire. I hold my breath, listening. Moments later, the booms roll in from the northern city, one after another, unceasing. Why so many cannonades? Could it be the bandits are storming the city? I stumble along in slippery feet, dashing through winding alleys and onto the main road, heading for the city marketplace. The drizzle falls, skulls hang low, blotting out the hour. Stopping an early passerby, I learn it's around 1-3 p.m. So I was that drunk, slept 14 or 16 hours straight, through to the next afternoon. Damn, so much time has passed. What on earth has happened? I must go investigate quickly. Another kind of blast in this, adding to the surreal haze. Heart pound, I quicken my pace, finally reaching a marketplace near Dongguan Street. I recall 6 days ago, the marketplace still bustled with vendors, selling grain, wine, meat, and other goods. Price soared sky high, yet demand outstripped supply. Today, though, the cannon fire has scared them off. Not a single stall is open. The tattered stalls lie abandoned, holding goods from days past. Beggars scramble for scraps, while scattered passerby huddle, chattering wildly. The streets now teem with the destitute. Most barefoot, rags for clothing. Only fitting, I suppose. Right now, the wealthy families are probably stockpiling enough supplies and shut themselves indoors. How could they possibly be wandering the streets? Hey, did you all hear? The field marshal man delivered an oral decree. What decree? I can't read, but I heard a soldier shout, by the field marshal order, if the city falls, he alone shall bear the blame, sparing the common folk. Alas, the field marshal risked his life for us commoners, through righteousness. But if he says this, does that mean that the city will really fall? Cannon fire has echoed for for an hour. I fear the walls won't stand much longer. As the two men fled, another cannon blast rips through the north city. At the sound, the crowd exchanged nervous glances, their faces etched with terror. Fear not, everyone. Those cannons aren't the bandits doing. They are own defenders. Each shot has killed scores of enemy raiders. An elderly man's voice rings out. Huh? I followed the sound. The man has half-white hair and beard, around 50 years old, wearing a net cap and a cloth tunic. He stoops with age, face lean with wrinkles, but his eyes shine as brightly as a child. I recognize this old man, he lives near me. We both stay in the new city. I'm east of the center, he's west of it. 2 streets apart, we run each other now and then, more like passing acquaintance. His surname is Lin, neighbors call him Old Man Lin. Old Man Lin also to make a living on the water, but in recent years, he switched to being a broker, meditating in neighborhood trades for commissions. He's a lifelong bachelor, alone in the world with no wife or children. Rumor has it he has a close relative involved in unsavory business, petty theft and prostitution, but who knows if it's true. Old Man Lin, how can you be sure the cannons are fired by our own garrison? I've just returned from delivering rations to the northern garrison. The enemy force this time is small, but just like in Marquez Ping's last skirmish. They'll be retreating any moment now. Just think, everyone, when Marquez Jinping besieged the city, we had no field marshal to command its defense. A few arrows and rocks from the walls where it took to scatter these men like startled birds and beasts. This time the field marshal has come specially to defend the city. He even ordered a line of cannons mounted on the walls. Surely they'll soon drive the enemy away, won't they? Truly? As certain as Stefan attacks, at his words, the crowd's tension visibly melts away. Come now, look here. Everyone, these clothes I got from the households in the city east. Most are barely worn, finery from the chantry's closets. Anyone wants them, just give me a few coppers and a ragged garment in exchange. A deal that can't lose, I tell you. Before long, Old Man Lin begins hawking his wares. The crowd peers into his basket of old clothes, picking through and inspecting them. Soon they marvel that every piece is truly fine. Silks and satins barely faded, embroidered still bright. No one knows where he got them, but the whole basketful. Here, let me trade for one. I'll take one too. Many, after inspecting clothes, strip off their rags right there in the street. They hand Old Man Lin a few coppers, then don fine garments. Strange, where did old man Lin get these clothes? Could it be true that he has a thieving relative and these were stolen? And why not take them to a pawn shop instead? Why trade fine garments for rags on the backs of the poor? My mind reels, so I steal a glance at him. He's laughing as he barters with refugees, but his eyes flicker straight into mine. The moment our gaze meet, he flinches away. Just as I thought, something's not right. Why is he panicking? Forget it, I wasn't planning to trade for his clothes anyway. None of my business, better to live to it. Because he's stolen and he was only bullshitting the other ones, is what it is. Old man Lin's actions are eerie, unsettling. I can't shake the feeling he's hiding something. But rather than dwell on his motives, I'm desperate to know what's happening north of the city, so I left the marketplace in a hurry. Pushing against the crowd, my steps quicken as I race toward the cannon fire in the north. Suddenly, rounding a corner, I see dozens of cavalry thundering toward me. Dust billows as these horsemen charge, each clad in heavy plate armor, their gear far exceeding common soldiers. They escort a high-ranking official, racing south from the north. As horse and men flash past, I catch a glimpse of the official's face. He wears a scarlet official robe and a black gauze cap, his hair and beard streaked with grey. Mud stains splatter his hem, and the cap sits askew on his head. Thought we pass in a flash, I catch a clear view of his face. His hair is unkempt, his features gaunt and pallid, his eyes bloodshot from sleepless nights. The man is disheveled and exhausted, his eyes filled with loss, sorrow and despair. Who is he? The thought flashed through my mind, and I quickly have an answer. Minister Shi. This man must be Minister Shi that the scholar Wang mentioned, the field marshal so many speak of, the one who commands all remaining Ming force. The scarlet robe and gauze cap are the garb of the top minister. In Yangzhou now, the only high official dressed thus is surely Minister Shi. For Minister Shi to be fleeing south from the north, does that mean the northern defense are truly falling to the enemy? Old man Lin, he was indeed hiding something. My heart quickens and my steps grow swifter. Heading north, I first cross Dongguan Street, then pass two alleyways. Fewer people remain on streets. The farther I go, the clearer the kind of fire becomes, and the more distinct it screams. Gasping for air, I struggle to climb a house near Duangu Street, then chimney up to an unmanned watchtower. From this height, I finally see the scene on distant city walls. I stare blankly at the distant scene. Dark clouds hang low over the city, hours raining like weaving threads. The northern quarter drowns in war, smoke and flame. Cannon fire thunders above and below the walls, a chaos where friend and foe blur. Flames redden the sky, submerging the battlements with roilement black smoke. Rows of defenders line the walls, some manning cannons, others stamping gunpowder. Cannon fire thunders unceasingly, the wall-mounted guns pounding the enemy below. Some soldiers hoist boulders, having them over the battlements. Boulders are hoisted, smashed down, a stone thrower takes an arrow, collapsing backward. Screams of agony, roars of rage, barked orders, all drowned in thunder of cannons. A man clutched his blood-spurting neck, felled by a stray arrow. Another is hit by a cannonball, instantly reduced to a mist of gore and viscera. So the cannon fire doesn't just come from our walls, the enemy is bombarding us too, they are firing at the defenders. I gape in shock as the slaughter rages on, the tide of battle shifting bit by bit. I don't know how many enemies the city's cannon have mowed down, nor whether the enemy's artillery has breached the walls. All I know is that soon after, enemy force prop up scaling ladders, clamber onto the battlements and roar as they clash with the defenders. Somewhere along the walls, a breach must have been blasted through. I can't see the breach from here, but I do see enemies attacking not just from outside the walls, some are charging from within the city. This must mean the gates have been breached, allowing the enemy to pour in, then circle behind our defenders. Blades clash as shouts of slaughter shake the city. The sky. The enemy swells like an endless tide. Strange, these foes don't seem to be Marquess Xingping's men, or rather, not all of them are. Among the besieging force, some indeed wear uniforms resembling Marquess Xingping's troops, bearing the rugged look of northwest border militias or mountain bandits, but those charging at the vanguard are clad in motley armor. They stand tall, some donning tall helmets, others bearing their heads. Their unhelmeted ones have shaven scalps with golden thread rat-tail queues trailing behind. Tatars, I suddenly realize. These are not Marquess Xingping's men, they are Tatars. The Tatar assault crashed like a tide. and our defenders slowly overwhelmed. At first the garrison had the upper hand. They hacked the first wave attackers off the walls, or overturned scaling ladders, sending others tumbling straight back. Even the high few made into the battlements were swiftly hacked to pieces by a flurry of blades. But as a wave after wave of cannon fire and arrow storms rained down, the Tatars poured through the breach like a swarm, attacking from both flanks. The brave who fight to the death grow fewer by the day. The fearful swell in number. Our lines fray, and so too does our will to be fight. Fear spreads like a plague. The first surges infecting the next. They start to flee en masse. When did it happen? Suddenly, almost all the soldiers on the walls abandon their posts. Every defense starts fleeing backward, racing toward planks laid across the battlements. Damn, when the men fought bravely, these planks connected the common folk to the enemy, meant to burn breach and inspire death-defying resolve, surely to boost morale. But now, with morale shot and soldiers fleeing for their lives, each plank has become a precarious single log breach. One end promised life, the other death. Deserters shout and shove. Some shove those ahead, others kick those beside them. Some are just let off the planks, others keep fleeing forward. They claw for the last shred of life, but soon enough, that hope to collapse. The planks snap. The moment the planks break, soldiers stumble into the void like falling leaves, flailing their arms as they shriek and plummet. Frozen in terror, they plunge from the planks into the chasm between house and walls, their bones crunching in a sickening chorus. The soldiers who cross the planks don't look back, they just keep running. Arms outstretched, steps frantic, they dare not glance behind. Military boots crash across rooftop tiles, making a racket like clashing blades or hail pounding the earth. As for those who failed to cross, they know the planks are broken, their retreat cut off. Some fling aside their weapons, cowering and shaking. Others grit their teeth, steel their resolve, and turn to roar at the onrushing Tatars. But most, pushed by the tide behind them, plummet from the broken planks like rain. Men falling like rain. For some reason, these four words leap into my mind: terror, rage, fear, hatred, the will to live, the will to die. The emotions of those who become rain pierce through to my heart. I stare wide-eyed, soldiers clashing on the battlements, and the madness returns. In my eyes, those Tatars transform into beasts one by one. The blue armor become azure shackles. The red armor turn into crimson wolves, and the fierce charging ones clad in white morph into white bowers. Azure shackles, crimson wolves, white bowers. A horde of demons, man-eating demons, lion camel reach. Is my beast affliction acting up again? No, my beast affliction usually only lasts a moment. Why can't they change back to human form now? Could it be they weren't human to begin with, but demons from lion camel reach? Or maybe I never woke up from after drinking that Nuer on last night, and this is all a dream? Or perhaps last night, adrift on a dream boat, I left the mortal world and wandered into the legendary Lion Camel Kingdom? Yes, it must be so. How could Tatars from the far north suddenly attack Xiangnan? I've sensed something amiss all along. It's all fake. These aren't Tatars, they are demons. Demons are storming the city. This isn't Yangzhou, not Xiangnan. Lion Camel Kingdom. This is Lion Camel. The Lion Camel Kingdom. The Lion Camel Kingdom. I rave to myself, staggering to my feet and fleeing headlong. Gale force wind rose past my ears, drowning out the clash of blades and wails of the dying. With each step, I feel as if I'm leaping through time and space. In the days, I hear a voice from years past, long forgotten. Ziho. Her voice is a wisp, threading through the stench of blood, and still wedging free memories sealed for age. We heard her voice. Remembrance, Chapter 1, Yan. So, remembering, is it? The Lion Camel Kingdom? She leans against the table, voice trailing off in a casual inquiry. Slouching languidly by the table edge, her chin rests on the back of her left hand as her gaze drifts over the incense burner, powder case, and fragrant pellets, each object stepping in the muted glow of fading daylight. She doesn't look at me. But since we are the only ones in this courtesan's chamber, her words must be meant for me. Precisely, the book I intend to write shall be called The Lion Camel Kingdom. Have you read The Plum in the Golden Vase? I ask with a smile. A masterpiece like that? Naturally I've read it from cover to cover, word for word. You have read it, all of it? Then, and what of it? Then we can discuss it freely. She lifts her eyes to glance at me, a smile playing on her lips. So she's well read indeed. I'll harbored a secret thought, assuming she hadn't pursued this book. If that's the case, next time I visit, I'll bring the book myself and watch her read it. Perhaps I can catch a rare glimpse of her blushing. Alas, in the end, the one left feeling awkward is yet again me. The plum in the golden vase was written during the Wanli era, derived from water margin. If I may offer my humble view, the plum in the golden vase outshines water margin literature stature. In literature, no word can claim absolute primacy, much like how in martial arts, there is no disputing the top fighter. While you find books defy ranking, in my mind the plum in the golden vase does hold a higher place. Oh, what inspires such thoughts? The plum in the golden vase dazzles with its prose, every chapter a whirlwind of lust and intrigue, its author's brushwork peerless. Yet to praise it for craft alone is to admire a Ming vase only for its glaze. When I read Water Margin, its tales felt like truth cloaking legend, but the plum in the golden vase, there I found legend that bleeds truth. The first is mere craft, the second revelation, that is its mastery. Brilliant, a critique worthy of the text itself. I nodded fervently, hands clasped but barely steering my way. Wow. Truth, illusion. Here, stripped of mere style, lay the chasm between these two titans. And yet, precisely for this reason, I find myself disliking the plum in the golden vase. I start slightly taken aback. Just as I was mentally agreeing with her words, her tone suddenly shifted, delivering an unexpected thought. Why? She clearly finds this book more exquisite, more truthful, so why dislike it? Why? My mind is swarming with questions, I can't help but voice them. In the face of my question, she doesn't respond immediately. She merely lowers her eyes slowly, avoiding my gaze. Su Lianyan's pale wrist gives a gentle swirl, her white sleeves unfurling slightly. With her left hand, she lifts the incense box. With her right, she delicately pinches the pellets within, dropping them one by one into the waiting burner. I wait in silence. As the seventh incense pellet falls into the burner, her red lips finally part. In the plum in the golden vase, the world is nothing but a place of the weak being devoured by the strong, mirrored in turbidity and ignorance. All do dwell in its page are but beasts cloaked in flesh, their civility no more than a mask. You don't think it's like that? I don't think it should be like that. Her words trailing off, she raised her head and offers a calm smile. She closed the burner lid, her gaze sweeping over me. She won't be like this? I stare at her blankly, mulling over her words. Her words remind me of a path from the pearl face to the plum in the golden vase. To read the plum in the golden vase, I feel compassion. This is the mind of a bodhisattva. To read it and feel dread, this is the heart of a gentleman. To read it and feel delight, this is the nature of a petty person. To read it and seek emulate, this is the essence of a beast. As for me, when reading the plum in the golden vase, I find myself torn between the minds of a gentleman and a petty person, with the occasional beastly thought creeping in. Could it be that when she reads it, she does so with a bodhisattva's compassion? Shameful. Thanks you. Compared to her, your state of mind when reading is still a step behind hers. Next time I shall copy the plum in the golden vase again. I must read it carefully, ponder deeply. Perhaps I can nurture a bodhisattva's heart through it. Alright, CEO, we've chatted idly for long enough. It's time to return to the main topic. Just as my mind was churning like a tempest, she called out to me gently. You mentioned the plum in the golden vase. What on earth does it have to do with the Lion Camel Kingdom? She asked it softly. Right, we really had straight off topic in our conversation. We shouldn't be discussing the plum in the golden vase. We ought to talk about the Lion Camel Kingdom. You may laugh, but the truth is, when I spoke of the plum in the golden vase, I intended to take it as a model and emulate the laughing scholar of Lang Ling, to create a work that surpassed the original. My favorite book is Journey to the West. I've read the Sid Tang edition nearly 10 times, and even gone through Li Zuo's critical edition twice. If speaking of lifelong aspirations, I wish to write a work born from Journey to the West, one that could surpass its predecessor as the plum in the golden vase did. Oh? Upon hearing this, Su Lianyan raised her eyes with keen interest, fixing me with a stare. Emboldened by her gaze, a touch of showmanship stirs within me. The darkest and most sorry parts in Watermarch are undoubtedly the chapters featuring Shimen King. The plum in the golden vase expands upon these chapters, ultimately giving birth to a peerless masterpiece. After scouring through Journey to the West, I discovered that its darkest, most brutal chapters lie in the tales of Lion Camel Ridge. That's why I want to write a story about the golden-winged great rock leading 100,000 demon soldiers to breach a city and butcher an entire kingdom. I intend to use bloodshed, barbarism, and brutality to depict the world's sorrows in full, to reflect the light of goodness through filth, chaos, and darkness. The more I spoke, the more agitated I became. By the end, blood rushed to my head, and I clenched my fists tightly. Excellent. What you have in mind, Zio, is indeed a brilliant concept, but how much have you written so far? Her tone shifting abruptly, she raised her eyes to ask. Not a single word. I offer a faint smile. Pfft, the way you talk about this, you seem perfectly at ease. She covers her lips with her sleeve, letting out a soft laugh. Haha, there's still plenty of time. I am only 18 this year, with a long life ahead of me. Give me another 10 years. No, just 5, and I'll definitely finish this book. 5 years? Not even a drop of ink on a paper, yet you speak so lightly. Oh, so you don't believe I can finish this book? How about we make a bet? What's the wager? Should 5 years pass and no book bear my name? Then I swear, even if it costs me every coin I own, I will buy your freedom with what remains of my life. But if I do succeed, then you'll... My face flushed short, the thought in my mind to embarrass its voice. Shall I redeem myself and marry into your family? Unexpected, she divined my thoughts before I could speak. No, that's not it. I deny it immediately. What's the matter? You don't want that, or is it you mind my touch? Her eyes rippled with emotion as she gazed at me intently. The answer has long been in my heart, but it's like a fishbone stuck in my throat, too hard to voice, and every time we reach such an impasse, she always breaks the dialogue first. I have it. I have a plan. With a soft loud, Su Lianyan rises gracefully. I look toward her. Should you one day finish that book and achieve fame, I shall bestow a gift upon you. She turns to face me partially, speaking in a tender voice. What kind of gift? When the scholar sets down his brush, the courtesan shall offer tribute. You'll find out what is when the time comes. A pause, her eyes glinting like moonlight porcelain, as dimples grace her smile. Ah, another of her silken enigmas. This was her essence. A voice that danced between truth and riddle. The words waited with unspoken sonnet, leaving listeners grasping at moonbeams. My gaze fell, a soft sigh escaped my lips before I lifted my eyes once more, only to catch the whisper of her sleeve as she turned, her figure receding behind the emerald screen, fading like ink dissolving in tea. Chronicle, Chapter 2, Encounter with Swan. So now it's Chapter 2. I should not have overindulged and drained that old jar of aged Noir Hong. Because I gulped that entire jar, my soul seemed seized by the 9 heavens. I could no longer tell dream from reality. I don't know if this is Guanli or that accursed Lion Camel Kingdom. The sky hung ash grey, drizzling icy mist. I emerged with the fleeting crowd, scrambling through northern alleys in blind panic. Right before bolting, I caught a frantic glimpse. The horde of demons storming the walls had already scaled the battlements, clad in motley armor, yellow, white, blue, crimson. Their faces were grotesque variations: elephant demons, lion demons, rock demons, even wolf demons like those serving Marquis Xingping. The demon horde hunted down the routed soldiers. Men fell like torrential rain or clumped together in panicked herds, fleeing to huddle at the foot of the city walls. Some soldiers fled south in chaos, others smashed into nearby houses and barricaded themselves inside. No, I must get up. Scholars wang warnings flashed through my wine-addled mind. I at once resolved to turn home, barred at the door, find somewhere to disappear. If I keep wandering the streets, whether I encounter Tatars, bandits, or the horde of demons, I'm surely done for. Fears surged through my mind, cutting through the drunken haze. I stopped fleeing aimlessly and sprinted toward home. Wait, no sooner had I stilled my resolve and stepped forward than I froze dead in my tracks. Where is my home? Even now I can't tell whether this is still the original Guanling or the Lion Camel Kingdom. The street before me was both familiar and foreign. The stone bricks beneath my feet, the house flanking the streets, the willow trees by the roadside, all felt eerily familiar, yet I couldn't trust my own recognition. Enough, no more overthinking, just follow my instinct. I sighed, watching the panicked cold flee around me, not daring to stop my own stumbling steps, so I obeyed the murky whispers in my mind, letting intuition guide my feet forward. I quickened my pace, cutting through blocks, skirting a derelict well, until I stumbled upon a courtyard. Thank fate, even in my delirium, some primal compass had led me home. The courtyard before me was where I lived all these years, the so-called Fang's courtyard. With its three chambers and single yard, Fang's courtyard would appear cramped compared to the other East District mansion. Yet, for a solitary bachelor like me, the space felt most wasteful. Nearly all dwellings in the East District exist in the form of courtyard house, making it veritably the affluent quarter of the city. Mine stood as the district's most worthless property. Not only was it smallest in area, but it was also widely considered to have bad feng shui. For beside it lay a forsaken well, deemed a thing or of dire taboo. Over a decade, two lives were lost in this well. One was the Qian's family concubine, who took her own life out of neglect, and the other was Shi family's youngest son, who fell in while playing and wasn't found until days later. After the two deaths, rumors spread like wildfire, with everyone blaming the cursed feng shui there. Yet I ignore it, dismissing the crowd's chatter as mere noise. I don't want to leave this place. Whether in Gungliang or the Lion Camel Kingdom, this is my home. I don't want to leave this place. Though I've forgotten much, I feel an inexplicable bond with this place. No matter what, I intend to stay. I drew a bronze key from my sleeve. Just as I was about to unlock it, but I found that the door was not locked tightly. Why is the lock hanging loosely? I almost forgot to lock it yesterday before heading to Scholar Wang's place for some aged wine. Well, at least my place looks downright shabby. Even in the East District, it probably won't tempt any thieves. As for valuables here, maybe it's just some old books I've stashed away. I've hidden several crates of books, some written copies or high edition are extremely valuable, worth no little fortune. But I doubt any burglar will recognize their worth, let alone know where they sell them. As for more valuable items like jewelry and civil tails, that could easily thieves, I've hidden them all in a treasure chest under my bed, secured with an extra lock. It should have been safe enough. With this thought, I set my mind at ease and entered the courtyard. I usually rest in the left chamber while the right chamber was originally intended for family members or a living servant. But over the years I've fallen into increasingly dire straits. Lately my expenses have outstripped my income. I never married, never had children, and certainly couldn't afford to hire servants. Over time I began hoarding things in the right chamber, items that should have been discarded. The pile kept growing, cramming the space. The layers of dust coated those heaps of junk, but I never bothered to sweep them away. Sometimes I would clamber onto the right chamber clutter, straying through its narrow window to watch the chaotic streets outside. When the Lion Camel reached Demon Lord shattered the gates earlier, I scrambled home with the panicked crowd. The aftermath? No clue. Should I play it safe and hide in the left chamber, or a sneak peek outside through the right chamber's window? I'll go into the right chamber and glance out the window after all. Thought it might draw unnecessary attention, but even if it means taking some risk, I still want to see. I need to know how the city fares now, to learn more, to quell this unease gnawing at me. Has young Zhou truly become the Lion Camel Kingdom by now? If it has truly become the Lion Camel Kingdom, what preparation should I make? I dodged the raindrops dripping from the heaps and stepped into the right chamber, greeted by the scent of my hay scraps and tattered cloth. I walked to the pile of clutter, lifted my foot, and stepped onto a wooden crate, barely sturdy enough to bear my weight. My cloth shoes kicked up, swirling in dust as I climbed atop the crate, gripping the window sill with both hands to peer through the right chamber narrow window. From the right chamber's window, I could see straight down the street cutting through the East District. The road stretched hundreds of paces, running south to north. The streets lay utterly deserted now. Most townsfolk had likely barricade themselves indoors like me. I stared for a long while, but the scene remained unchanged. The earlier barrage of cannon fire and war cries near the city walls must have terrified everyone. Oh? Figures approached. After a brief wait, shadowy outlines emerged in the distance. 3 figures came into view. The one leading rode horseback, slackening in the range to let his steed plod ahead. All 3 stumbled in defeat, whispering grimly without a shred of morale. Even their hearts seemed haunted, tossing their heads with hollow, grieving night. Were they defeated garrison troops? Why weren't these 3 rushing like the others? And why were they heading south from the north? Where were they going? I squinted, pondering. Then, in the time it takes a stick of incense to burn, the streets emptied again. After the incense burned, just as my legs grew sore, and I thought to to rest, a seething mass of shadows surged into view in the distance. They were here. In the distance along the street, they appeared the horde of demons that had breached the walls. At the forefront stood several other demons, all astride brown horses, donning black helmets and white armor. The black helmets, whether leather or iron, glimmered in the rain, most stopped with crimson plumes. Some sets of white armor were trimmed in red, others plain, their surfaces bristling with tight clusters of rounded rivets. Their expressions were all grim. Some felt shame, some grief, but most were plainly terrified. How could this be? These women, are they from the Offer district or the garrison soldiers' families? I don't know. But the fact that demon soldiers took women captive unsettled me even more. I began to fear for Scholar Wang and his wife Fate. Who knows what become of Scholar Wang and his wife now? Scholar Wang had a wife who even now bore life within her womb. What if his whole family had followed me to the Lion Camel Kingdom? What then? So many women in the city, who knows how many will suffer under the demon soldier's cruelty? And this thought, I clenched my fist slightly. Thought now I stood utterly alone. No wife by my side, not even a kin remaining. Yet, unwittingly, I slipped into Scholar Wang's skin, seeing through the townsfolk eyes, a gnawing dread took hold. What was that? Suddenly, a faint cough rasped beside me. So close it seemed to graze my ear, I nearly leaped from my skin. I turned my head to look. In the corner of the right chamber stood a wine vat. That sound seemed to be coming from inside the wine vat. Who's there? Who just barged into my house? When I entered early, I noticed the door was unlocked. Could someone have sneaked in and hidden inside? This wine vat is small, only a child could fit inside. And that faint cough, light and delicate, did sound like a child's voice. Could it be a child hiding in the wine vat? I raced through this deduction as my footsteps crept closer to the vat. The footsteps advanced relentlessly before finally stopping. Then, finally I spotted her curled up inside the wine vat. Huddled in the wine vat was a small girl. She appeared around 10, clad in rough spun cloth, her body thin and delicate. Her hair was deep black, one side fastened with a violet ribbon. Her skin was ghostly pale, sickly white, a sharp contrast to her inky hair. Flower-sharp hairpins crowned her head, her garments stitched with swirling cloud motifs. The girl curled up inside the wine vat, hugging her knees. She lifted her head, her luminous eyes looking into mine. A strand of hair clung onto her forehead, a droplet of wine glistened on it. So cold, her lash trembled faintly, crimson lips parting as she whispered her feelings. I gaped at her, stunned. This girl's face was hauntingly familiar. Who is she? Su Lianyan? In disbelief, I breathed her name on pure instinct. I don't understand what ties bind that dead son, whose memory still guides me to this child. But then, a memory fractured through my skull. The first one, the one about her. Bit by bit, it clawed its way up. I began to fear Skull Wang and his wife's fate. Who knows what becomes of Skull Wang and his wife now? Skull Wang had a wife who even now bore life within her womb. What if his whole family had followed me to Lion Camp? What then? So many women in the city, who knows how many will suffer under the demon soul's cruelty. At this thought, I clenched my fist side. Thought I stood utterly alone. No wife by my side, not even king remaining. Yet unwittingly, I slipped into Skull Wang's skin, seen through the townsfolk eyes. A gnawing dread took hold. Suddenly a faint rose. Wait, is this repeating the same thing? So it bugged in there, right? Is what it looked like, it bugged, and now it's repeating the same thing. Because we should be able to see her. Because we see this girl over here. So there was a bug because it was showing that when it shouldn't. It should be showing this. And now it's repeating. Because this is what I already read. Because like, we're gonna think that she's like Su Lianyan. The first one, the one about bit by bit. Because she'll end like this, no? No? Okay. Remembrance, chapter 2, Swan. But there was a bug in there. I met her 13 years ago. It was the fifth year of Zhongshan reign, just after Li Shuang's troops had invaded the lands of Qin. That year I was 9, she was 11, and we were waiting at an inn in Jin's South Pawn to be sent to Yangzhou. I remember well that day when my tears fell without cease, but she didn't shed a tear. But Dad, Mom, why? I want Mom, I want Dad, I don't want to go to Yangzhou. Oh dear, stop crying already. You are going to Yangzhou to live with your eldest uncle. He'll treat you like his own son, feed you well, and care for you. Why wouldn't you want to go? No, I want to stay here. I won't go to eldest uncle. Well, oh dear, your father and mother aren't your dad. They are waiting for you in Yangzhou right now. Won't you go to them? Liar, you are lying. I know all along that father and mother were killed. They're never coming back. Who filled your head with such nonsense? The master and mistress were blessed. They will never. They are dead. Someone told me 8 years ago. You're lying. Wah. At 9 years old, I sat on a chair in the inn's main hall. The family old servant that came here while I slept. He said the shopkeeper saw at the inn was arranging a carriage to send me to the eldest uncle's home in Yangzhou. I kicked my legs, flailed my arms, and wailed with my head thrown back, hurling away the little toy the old servant had given me. A few days earlier, while waiting in the city for news from father and mother, I received the tragic tidings. Father and mother were killed by bandits who ambushed them while receiving goods outside the city. Afterward, the family deliberated and decided to have me adopted by the eldest uncle. Eldest uncle, father and mother were all salt merchants. Father and mother spent years procuring salt in Qin territory, then shipped it along the river to Xiangnan for eldest uncle to sell. The servants called my father and mother young master and mistress, and eldest uncle great master. Now that father and mother are gone, I become an orphan. After days of discussion and several letters exchanged with eldest uncle, the servants decided to send me to Xiangnan to be adopted as his son. No, I won't. I don't want to go to Yan'an or Yangzhou. Eldest uncle is just an uncle. He can't replace my father. Father and mother died near the South Pond. I want to stay here with them. Come now. Young Master Fang, don't cry. I have a sugar plum. Sweet in your mouth, and your heart won't feel so bitter. As I was crying, an old man approached. He was shopkeeper of the inn, a man named Zhao, dressed in blue with a small felt hat. He looked about 50, smiling so broadly that it narrowed his eyes to mere slits. The very picture of untrustworthiness. When father and mother were alive, they all brought me here, once to purchase a servant from him. Father and mother had warned me. Be wary of this man, don't eat his food, don't follow him. If he tries to seize you, scream, human trafficker, help! I don't want. How about the rattle drum to play with? No, go away, I don't want anything from you. I shoved aside the rattle drum he offered in the irritation. Unfazed, old man Zhao chuckled twice with his hands clasped behind his back. Ha, Master Zhao, I know you are good with children, but this little lord of mine is stubborn as an ox and won't listen to reason. Ha, what should we do? Children will be children. They will always throw tantrums, but they will grow out of it in time. Old man Zhao chuckled twice more before sauntering back behind the counter to sit down. I glared at him indignantly. Huh? When I looked toward the counter, I noticed an old person and child sitting there. I hadn't seen them arrive. The elder was a woman in a yellow robe, likely old man Zhao's wife. As for the young one, his attire suggested a boy. He wore the tattered purple clothes and a bamboo hat that hid his face. His hair appeared short. He lay lazily sprawled across the counter, motionless as if asleep. Was he the child kidnapped by the Zhao couple, the human trafficker? He seemed quite well behaved. Clearly kidnapped by old man Zhao, worse off than me. Yet he didn't even cry. Hey, old man Zhao, I need a favor. I know you got connection. Help me reach someone in Datong. As I gazed toward the counter, a woman's voice suddenly cut through the air, brimming with uncommon authority. She stood in from outside and headed straight for old man Zhao. Oh, contact someone in Datong? Yes, I have a little girl here. Her father and mother are in Datong. I need to send them a letter first, see if they will pay to bring her home. What if they refuse to pay? If they won't pay, the little girl comes with me. Ha, you don't have much experience with children, do you? If they don't want her, you might as well sell her to me. Absolutely not. I would advise you drop that idea. She was sent here by a grudge-holding bandit. We must settle properly. A grudge-holding bandit, huh? Well, I will not dare covet her then. Shopkeeper saw outside, which piqued my curiosity. My wailing gradually turned into intermittent sobs as I strained to listen to the conversation behind me. Sister Kit, will you really find father and mother? Don't worry, we'll definitely will. Sister Kit, you won't leave me, will you? I won't. Uncle Zhang is watching over Kuya and Unger, so I'm free. Rest assured, Kyonghua, I won't leave Salt Pond until you are properly settled. The girl called Kyonghua. gave a soft reply. Her voice was sweet and airy, and paired with Old Man Zhao's earlier comment about her being radiant. It only deepened my curiosity about her looks, so I wiped away my tears, turned my head, and pretended to glance casually at the two newcomers. That remarkable woman seemed to be named Kit. She was in her 20s, dressed in a pale purple gown, even more beautiful than my mother. And beside her stood a girl named Kyung-hwa, quiet and obedient. She was about my age, with delicate, lovely features. As I looked at her, she turned her head as well, her round eyes meeting mine. Under her gaze, I suddenly felt too embarrassed to keep crying, so with reddened eyes, I stared blankly at her. Suddenly I noticed a thin strand of snot yet clung to my mouth, left over from earlier tears. I gave a sharpening nail, sucking the snot back up. How old are you? 9, and you? 9 too, but I'll be 10 soon. Oh, then I must be younger, I can't call you Little Kyung. It's Sister Kyung now. Sister Kyung feels odd, just call me Kyunghwa. Good, then I'll call you Kyunghwa, haha. I grinned and spoke to her. Since we were both children, Kyunghwa and I quickly started talking. At first I wiped away my tears with an easy familiarity, staggered a few steps and plopped down beside her. I asked her how she got here. She told me honestly, her father and mother had been high-ranking officials, but after a relative committed a crime, they were implicated and exiled to the borderlands. But later human traffickers disguised as soldiers took her blindfolded and gagged her, then threw her into a carriage and transported her all the way to Wanzhou. Then she recounted what sounded like a legendary tale. She and 3 other little girls were to be sent from Wanzhou to Luoyang, supposedly to adopt the daughters of a wealthy family and live a life free from want. They were escorted by 2 armored guards, one called Master Qing, the other Master Liang. Midway, the guard called Master Qing suddenly left, and the one called Master Liang told them they shouldn't go to Luoyang, promising to find them a better place. In the end, Master Liang took them to an inn in Chiozhou, and entrusted them to Sister Kit. Sister Kit took in Ongar and Kuyer to help at the inn, promising to help Kyunghwa contact her father and mother. As for Master Liang and the little girl called Sister Sui, they later seemed to have gone to Luoyang. Kyunghwa chattered on about what happened during the journey. At first she sat upright, her whole body tense, but as she continued, she began swinging her legs, appearing much more relaxed and natural. She mentioned Sister Sui many times, as well as Master Liang. In the description, Sister Sui was a very clever little girl, with wisdom far beyond her years. That man called Master Liang was a taciturn figure with formidable martial arts skills, like a chivalrous hero of old. She was very fond of both Master Liang and Sister Sui. By the way, I haven't asked her, what's your name? After talking for a long while, Kyunghwa suddenly asked my name. Fang Xiu Ho? Which characters are those? I'll write it for you. I took a teapot, poured some water onto the table, dipped my finger in it, and traced my name for Kyunghwa to see. My fingertip dipped in water, leaving faint trails on the table. I wrote the first 2 characters quite small, but the final character, U, had so many strokes I had to write it larger. Your name has so many strokes, especially this U character. It's barely legible. Why did your father and mother give you such a name? Kyunghwa studied the name I'll write and asked curiously. Father said you means to forgive. He gave me this name to remind me to forgiving towards others. As the saying goes, leave room for reconciliation, as you'll meet again someday. After just a few words, I thought of father again. My eyes ran and my voice grew thick. When I first heard of father and mother's passing, I didn't feel this sorrowful. But now, recalling father's words, I know I'll never see him again. My nose stung, and tears threatened to fall. Huh? Zio, you are... Kyunghwa noticed my distress and froze. My father's gone, you still have yours, but I'll never see mine again. I wiped my tears, fighting not to cry, but the sob broke through anyway. I don't want to see uncle, I don't want to go to Yangzhou. They are forcing me to go, I don't want. I want to leave, I'll run away. I burst into tears, kicking and wailing, the commotion growing louder. Just then, the sound of teacup shouting echoed. At the counter, the bamboo-hated boy suddenly leaped up. He sunk his teeth into the yellow rubber crown guarding him and bolted. This damn brat beat me. Stop her. Catch her. I froze as the boy suddenly rushed toward me. He ran up and seized my hand. His hand clasped mine tightly, palm to palm, fingers intertwined. His hand was soft, warm, yet faintly cool. That peculiar chill made his body seem unusual, naturally colder than most. Simultaneously, as he grabbed me, his bamboo hat flew off, revealing his face. No, she wasn't a boy, she was a little girl. This little girl had beauty no less striking than Kyung-hwa's, just as delicate and lovely. But unlike Kyung-hwa, her eyes held none of a girl's gentleness. Instead, they burned with the boldness of a boy. "Hey, don't you want to run?" She yelled right into my ear. "Run?" I froze. "Yeah, but I... Go, now. Wait." Before I could finish, she seized my hand, dragging me past the threshold, out of the hill and straight into the unknown behind. She gazed steadfastly ahead, her eyes fixed and waveringly of the road before her. I wasn't watching the path, but staring transfixed at her instead. As I ran, I kept watching her silhouette charging forward ahead of me. No matter how many years passed, I always remember exactly as she was in this moment. Her eyes burned bright with unshakable resolve. The wind roared past our ears on both sides, the ribbons in her hair streaming like a wild goose wings. Without a backward glance, she dragged me forward with desperate strength, as if determined to flee with me to the ends of the earth. Oh my god, chapter 3, Loot. A cold drizzle fell from the sky, raindrops trickled intermittently from the heaps, a few landing on my shoulders with an icy touch. I stood frozen in the right chamber, staring at the girl inside the wine vat. She hugged her knees, curled up deep within the narrow wine vat. She lifted her head, her round eyes wide with curiosity as she gazed at me. Those eyes were pure and unclouded without the trace of murkiness. I stood rooted to the spot, too shocked to utter a single word. Her appearance was an exact replica of how I remember Su Lianyan at 11 years old, identical down to the last detail. But how could this be possible? Didn't Su Lianyan die long ago? Even if she hadn't died, shouldn't she have grown up by now? Thought my beast affliction has made me forget much about her, but I must have seen her grown up self before, and I know for certain she's dead. Where on earth did this child-like version of her come from? Why? What on earth is she? A chill shot up from the soles of my feet to my spine. My palms instantly slick with cold sweat as I involuntarily took a step back. Oh, could it be? Is this little girl before me Su Lianyan's daughter? No, the girl looks barely around 10 years old. Su Lianyan was only 14 a decade ago, but the likelihood of her having a child is practically zero. And even if this girl were truly her daughter, how could she look exactly like her? What child in this world resembles only their mother, bearing not a single trace of their father? Zio. As I stared at her, lost in wild thoughts, she suddenly whispered my name. The voice was faint and frail, as if not spoken but breathed directly from her lips. "You, how do you know my name?" I couldn't help but press, my voice trembling faintly. "The moment I saw you, I knew this was your name." "Then what's your name?" "Little Yan." I pressed my lips together, my brows furrowing deeply. "Little Yan. Yan, that's right." When Su Lianyan was young, she wasn't actually called Su Lianyan. Only when she mentioned it I remember. Her original name was Yan. The name Su Lianyan was one she adopted only after living in Yangsu for several years. As for why she changed it back then, or exactly what was said, I can no longer recall clearly. The moment I laid eyes on that little girl, a memory of Su Lianyan suddenly crashed onto my mind. 14 years ago, in that salt pond, she abruptly stood up, seized my hand, and dragged me out. What happened after? Damn it, this cursed beast's affliction again. My memories are a jumbled mess, like a torn canvas. I can't piece together what happened next. Forget it, putting the past out of my mind. I turned my gaze back to the little girl before me. "Hey, you say you felt cold earlier, right?" The first thing she said when I found her was, "It's so cold." She nodded obediently. "It's too cold in the wine vat. Come out first." "Okay." She nodded meekly, her tiny hands gripping on the edge of the wine vat as she clumsily wobbled her way out. I studied her carefully. The girl slipped from the wine vat, her bare toes brushing the ground without a sound, light as drifting snow. The vat's bottom, though long emptied, still clung with damp trace of liquor, sour and sticky. Yet her garments, sleeves and hem alike, were spotless, unsullied by even a droplet. Strange, most strange indeed. Wait, why hadn't I considered another possibility? Could it be she wasn't just some little girl who resembled Su Lianyan? She's actually Su Lianyan's soul. Whoosh. The thought barely formed before I acted, reaching out to touch Xian's head directly. This was undeniably the touch of a child's head. Fine strands of hair lay neatly arranged, soft as satin, carrying the faint warmth unique to children. She's visible, tangible. Even her warmth is real. She's real. Why are you touching me? Stop it! Stop! You'll mess up my hair. I crush her down again and pinch her cheek. This was the face of a child, delicate as flashing peel leech, so tender it might bruise at the touch. Don't touch my face, no pinching. She protested again, her small hand slapping the back of mine with a sharp smack. Then she stepped back, her little face flushed and puffed with anger, glaring straight at me. Just moments ago she had seemed timid, fearful, and pure. Now the sheer complexity of emotions flashing across her face convinced me she wasn't a ghost, but a real living little girl. So you really are just a little girl, not a ghost. I was never a ghost, I'm a living, breathing person. Siho is a big meanie, always patting heads and pitching cheeks. She potted dignity, grumbling under her breath. That's oddly rhythmic. Rhythmic? It's true, it's really true. Her vivid expressiveness drew an involuntary laugh from me. A laugh until my sides hacked, as if I hadn't felt such joy in years. She's real. This child is solid, real, undeniable, unquestionably alive. She bore such an uncanny resemblance to the young Su Lianyan, even sharing the exact same name, that I briefly wondered if she was a ghostly apparition. To think she was real all along. But her demeanor now is just like that of an ordinary little girl. The Su Lianyan I remember, though she looked identical as a child, was never this sort of person. She was precocious, sharp-witted, and resolute in action. In my memories, I never once saw her throw a tantrum, let alone grow angry over me, ruffling her hair or pinching her cheeks. In my memory, she had always been a reliable, loyal elder sister, figured since childhood. Now seeing her appear before me in such a childish manner, the stark dissonance filled me with an overwhelming sense of unreality. But this isn't so bad. As long as she's here, that's enough. As my thoughts wander, a heavy knocking suddenly pounded against the courtyard's gate. 3 strikes in total. The rhythm betrayed the impatience and urgency of the person outside. Who's there? A neighbor? But I've rarely interacted with my neighbors. The knocking grew increasingly frantic. The urgency in sound was if it were hastening the death itself. Hastening death? Could it be the one knocking is the demon soul who just breached the city gates? Oh no, the demon has come knocking. A demon? Yes, the demon's here to loot our valuables. Quick, hide. Go back into the vat. But that one vat is so cold, so icy. Then hide under my bed. Where's your bed? The left chamber. Quick. The knocking echoed like a funeral drum, rattling my nerves. I barely hesitated before shoving Yan toward hiding. Now that I think of it, I never asked her how she found this place, or how she sleeping inside. No matter, soil first, questions later. Another crash louder, the visitor patient frayed, their bodies now slamming against the door. Coming, coming. After confirming Yan had retreated into the shadows beneath the bed, I forced a composure, answering loud while quickening my steps toward the courtyard gate. A demon soldier stood outside. It was a boar demon, Z commonly known as a wild boar. The boar's demon face was covered in coarse black bristles, its mouth bristling with jagged white tusks, its eye burned with a fierce, murky glare, and low guttural growls rumbled from its throat, clearly incapable of human speech. Clad in blue armor and iron helmet upon his head, and a waist dagger at his side, he stood as tall as I, yet his hulking frame and the pungent reek of blood and sweat radiating from him bore down on me with crushing intensity. Money! The poor demon thrust out his hand, growling a single malformed word, his pronunciation clumsy, as if freshly mastered. Money? So the demon soldiers who stormed the city have begun their door-to-door pillaging, that they demand rather than seize outright success things may not be as grim as I first imagined. Thought I've wandered unwittingly into this lion camel kingdom. These demon soldiers seemed to abide by some twisted code. He merely stood at the doorway, hand outstretched for money, unlike bands who would storm into the burn, loot and kill, not like the rumored demons that devour people. Thank goodness. My lord, how much do you want? He didn't answer, only glared at me with growing impatience. He shrank back even more menacingly. Alright, since you won't say, this humble one will fetch what I can offer. Fearing his rage, I stammered those words, whether he understood or not, before bowing hastily and darting toward the left chamber to fetch the money. I rummaged through the left chamber, searching and tallying the possessions I had on hand. Years of idling draining my savings had left me far less prosperous than before. Now all that remained at the bottom of my chest was 36 taels of silver, along with jewelry worth bearing 10 taels more. Those are rare old books in the courtyard might fetch nearly 100 taels, but these demon souls couldn't read a word. To them the books were worthless. Very well, now I had to open the chest and retrieve the money. Giving too much at once was unwise. Not only would it sting, but it also flaunt wealth and invite calamity. Yet giving too little might provoke his rage, driving him to seize the money by force or worse. So how much should I give? 3 taels, 10 taels. Just give 10 taels of silver. 10 taels for our lives isn't bad trade. This demon soul look vicious. If my stinginess provokes him into drawing his blade, no amount of silver will save me. I don't think demon soldiers will keep demanding silver taels forever. They must understand common folk. Even a well-run strike, they'll probably only come 3 times. Probably. Having made up my mind, I hastily drag the chest from under the bed, frantically rummaging through it to find 10 taels of silver. 10 taels of silver were a hefty sum. I scrambled to wrap the silver in a small cloth before hurrying out of the left chamber. Took out this, little Yan remained hidden in shadows beneath the bed, her wide round eyes fixed on me. I had no time to acknowledge her. My heart was pounding violently in my chest. I feared that if I moved too slow, the bored demon outside would lose patience, burst in and plunder all my savings. The money's here, my lord. Clutching the bundle of 10 taels of silver, I bolted to the gate and dropped into the bored demon's sweaty palm. The demon slowly unwrapped the bundle, his raw fingers counting the coins before grinning with satisfaction. Ha! I exhaled sharply, the back of my shirt damp with cold sweat. Only when his figure had completely disappeared did I hurriedly shut the courtyard gate, bolt it tight, and lean against the door to catch my breath. This poor demon, thought fearsome in appearance, wasn't entirely unreasonable. He came demanding money, yet followed the rules, waiting outside the gate, taking the silver and leaving without fuss. Perhaps, could the situation truly be less dire than I fear? This creature only seek wealth, not lives. Tio, are the demons gone? The moment I bolted the door, Yan emerged from beneath the bed, their delicate face shadowed with unease. Yes, they are gone. What did they want? What did they come for? Silver. Silver? What use is silver? Silver itself cannot be eaten or drunk, but it can be bartered for necessities. Especially in these turbulent times, silver is your lifeline, your best chance to survive. I explained calmly, yet a flicker of doubt crossed my mind. This little girl, she doesn't even know what silver is. Even her from my childhood memory, shouldn't this be obvious? How did you find my house? I couldn't help but press further, eager to learn more about her. I just walked and ended up here. From where? I can't quite remember. Impossible. Before coming here, you must have been somewhere else. I really forgot. Then close your eyes and think carefully. Where were you before coming here? There's a river with willow trees by the bank and a bridge. She really closed her eyes, her small face scrunching up as she strained to remember. What kind of bridge? A white one, lying across the lake, curved like an old man arching his back. A white arched bridge over the lake, the 24 bridge. I froze for a moment, murmuring the name under my breath. Hills lie villely mist, water stretch afar, tall autumn wanes, yet young nuns, grass stays unwithered. On the 24 bridge, beneath the moonlight night, wasted she now, that jade-like maiden who once taught the flute. This poem by the Mu of the Tang dynasty, the Han Shuo, magistrate of Yangzhou, made the 24 bridge famous across the land. It is a renowned bridge of Yangzhou, and even more so a jewel of Jiangnan. From ancient times to the present, the 24 bridge have lingered in the verse of countless literature. Yet to this day, opinions remain divided on what exactly the 24 bridge signify. Some say 24 bridge refer to 24 distinct bridges within Yangzhou, of which only a dozen or so remain today. Some say 24 bridge refer to a single bridge, most likely the White Stone Arch Bridge near the Little Kuanai River. I suppose that what Little Yan mentioned was most likely that very White Stone Arch Bridge. It had been 3 years since I last set foot there. The southern district along the Little Kuanai River is Guanlin's famous quarter of pleasure and revelry. 4 years ago, I often lingered in its flood-lined streets and taverns, frequently seeking out Su Lianyan. But ever since she drowned herself in the river and I contracted this beast's affliction, I've avoided that place entirely. Perhaps because it's where her spirit lingers. Whenever I pass by, my beast's affliction grows worse, driving me to flee. Just as my thoughts drifted over the 24 bridge, the piercing sound of knocking erupted once more. Here we go again, it really never ends. That poor demon who came earlier, demanding money, was the first, but certainly not the last. Another demon's coming, hide now. I hissed a warning to Little Yan, under my breath, then hurry out of the left chamber toward the courtyard gate. When I was mere steps away, the gate burst open with a violent crash. After the first board demon, I forgot to relatch the gate. At this moment, the demon soldier waiting outside had clearly lost all patience. He actually kicked the door down. A leopard demon clad in white armor trimmed with crimson stood blocking the doorway, a long blade gripped in his hand. His face was hatched with dark brown stripes, his pitch black eyes glinting with menace. Sharp fangs protruded from his snarling lips, his chest heaving with ragged breaths. With a cold snort, he closed palm thrust direct toward me, demanding money again. Still no human speech, still no specified amount. This time how much should I give? Surely it must be more than last time. Skull, give 3 taels of silver. I know your family isn't wealthy, so I've spoken with these lords. 3 taels will suffice. Since I was strong, a familiar yet aged voice came from behind the leopard demon. Old man Lean slipped out from beside the leopard demon's hulking frame, his face plastered with an intriguing smile. He first bowed and nodded obsequiously to the leopard demon, then turned to me and calmly stated the amount. Old man Lean, he was actually following the demon soldiers, helping them extort money. I remember seeing him at the marketplace just 2 hours before the city fell. At the time, he was trading old clothes from the wealthy for refugees' belongings, even taking a few copper coins from them. So that's how it was. Now it all makes sense. Some wealthy folks must have anticipated demon soldiers plundering after the city's fall, so they hired Old Man Lin to procure tattered refugee garments, allowing them to disguise themselves as beggars to evade trouble. Clever. What a shrewd, preemptive move. Now those prepared reach after from into paupers, while Old Man Lean has become a lackey for the demon soldiers, leading them door to door to extort households. This Old Man Lean is actually truly despicable. Even in his spare time, so cool he stooping to being a self-serving, dignified traitor of humanity. Alright, I'll go fetch 3 taels of silver. Thought I scorned Old Man Lean. Inwardly, I had no choice but to trust his advice, and obviously fetch 3 taels of silver. I turned back into the house, hastily retrieved 3 taels of silver from the chest, and handed them to the leopard demon at the gate. The leopard demon took the silver, waited, and let out a satisfied growl from his throat. He muttered a few curses under his breath, before finally turning away. I had just sighed in relief, and I was about to shut the door again, when Old Man Lean suddenly reached out to block it. Scholar, wait, give me 1 tael of silver too. His face hardened as he thrust out his hand, demanding payment. My heart sank. Old Man Lean, truly insatiable. Even now he still tries to wring money out of me. Give him 1 tael. So, should I give it to him? Never mind, just 1 tael of silver. Better still kill off trouble. With the city fall, Old Man Lean now serves a lackey for the demon soldiers, but rather than provoke him, losing a small sum is wiser. Consider buying goodwill to prevent future sabotage. Alright, wait a moment, I'll fetch it for you. I reply flatly and turn back into the room. Here for silver again? Little Yan picked out from under the bed, tilting her head as she asked me. Shh, don't make a sound and don't show yourself. I hastily whispered to her, snatched up 1 tael silver and hurried toward the door. Here's to 1 taels of silver you asked. I handed the 1 tael of silver to Old Man Lean. Thanks. Old Man Lean nodded slightly. His expression changed as he reached out to take the silver. The moment he saw fingers grazing my palm, only then did I realize he wasn't merely here for the money. In the fleeting moment our hands brushed, he stealthily and swiftly slipped a crumpled paper ball into my palm. I jerked my head up in shock, meeting his cold yet cunning eyes, staring back at me with a gaze heavy with unspoken significance. That's when I saw it. Just behind him, near the alley's mouth, an eagle demon in red armor, a waist dagger at his hip, standing motionless as a statue, its razor-sharp avian eyes fixed unblinking on us. Old Man Lean pocketed the silver and left. I immediately shut the courtyard gate, bolted the door, and leaned against it as I unfolded the note Old Man Lean had secretly slipped to me. The note bore 8 hastily scrawled, yet glaringly stark words. Dwellers in East City will not live long. Was this Old Man Lean's warning? I had paid 1 tael of silver for this message, risking his life to deliver it under the watchful eyes of the demon soldiers. Zero, what are you looking at? Watching the street, seeing if I can spot anything unusual. Found anything? I didn't answer her, holding my breath as I kept watching. Outside the window lay one of the main thoroughfares in the eastern part of the city. The doors and windows along the street were tightly shut, lifeless as a tomb. Every few dozen paces, a demon soldier stood sentry like a nail driven into the ground. Compared to before, there were far fewer demon soldiers in blue armor or white armor. Now most were red armor soldiers or unarmored grunts. The boar demons and leopard demons had dwindled, replaced by more wolf demons, eagle demons, and even hulking bear demons clad in tattered leather armor. The demons pound on every door with fists and sword hilts, shouting and bullying the homeowners into handing over their money. Most homeowners open their doors trembling, bowing obsequiously as they surrender their vows. Of course, I also saw one household that seemed genuinely unable to pay. When a bear demon came to their door, the family first wept and pleaded before collapsing to their knees, kowtowing frantically. The demon slowly grew a gleaming blade from its sheath, roaring threats at them. Then the family terrified wails grew even louder. Finally, the man of the household shakily removed the bracelet from the woman beside him and handed it over with trembling hands. The bear demon snatched the bracelet, kicked the man viciously, spat a thick glob of flame, and stormed off with a string of curses. Ziho, can I come out now? Just as my thoughts were in turmoil, a little young timid voice drifted from the left chamber. I only realized it just then. After I sent off Manlin and that leopard demon, I never let her know. So she had been obediently hiding under the bed the entire time, never emerging. They are long gone. You can come out now. Thought my mind was in disarray. I forced my voice to sound calm as I replied to her. At my word, she crawled out from under the bed and drew nearer to me. But right now I have no time to spare for her. I'll better think of a way to escape quickly. Not just for my sake, but for little Jan's as well. Thought I have no desire to court death. If I were to die suddenly one day, I will not count it as a regret. Yet here beside me now is a girl who looks eerily like Su Lianyan, as I knew as a child. If she were caught by the demon soldiers because of me, and came to war, it will not haunt me more than my own death. She's the one who's given me more reason to fight for survival. I returned to the right chamber once more, climbing onto the pile of debris on all fours, pressing close to the small window, holding my breath as I strained to peer down the distant street. Siho, what are you looking at? Watching the street, seeing if I can spot anything unusual. Found anything? I didn't answer her, holding my breath as I kept watching. Outside the window lay one of the main thoroughfares in the eastern part of the city. The doors and windows along the street were tightly shut, lifeless as stone. Every few dozen paces, a demon soldier stood sent like a nail driven into the ground. Is it the same thing again? Yeah, because it's repeating again the same. Because now it's that one that gave the bracelet. Suddenly a blood-curdling scream tore through the stifling air. The sound came from the neither too far nor too near, somewhere just a few alleys away, but undoubtedly within East District. It was a man's voice brimming with sheer agony and terror. After the scream came intermittent stifled sobs of a woman, followed by the demon soul's rough shouts and curses. Siho, did you hear that? I heard someone scream. Then there were cries and yelling. What's wrong? I don't know. I lowered my head, my face darkening, my palms instantly drenched in cold sweat, a chill creeping down my spine. Thought I told little Jan I don't know. Deep down I already pieced together most of the truth. That scream, it was unmistakably the desperate wail of someone struck by a blade, flesh cleaved apart. As the demon soldiers conducted wave after wave of plundering, there were always households squeezed dry, unable to produce even a single copper coin. And when that moment came, those demon soldiers denied their spoils, will finally snap, furious, desperate, and the killing will begin. Some local traitors seeking self-preservation or rewards betrayed the wealthy families of this East District, serving as guides for demon soldiers. They must have told the demon soldiers the eastern part of the city is teeming with fat sheep ripe with wealth. That's why these demon soldiers, like flies drawn to blood, return again and again to loot this place. Once they have scoured the land clean and wrung it dry, the slaughter will begin. Months ago I heard Li Chuang often used this very method after storming a city. They spared the poor and commoners to win their favor, then coerced the city's desperate into acting as informers, marking which homes hold rich. Once they located wealthy households, they all seized them and subject them to brutal torture, forcing them to surrender all either money and grain. In the end, even if a wealthy household were to lose everything and hand over all their money and grain, they still couldn't escape death. These demon soldiers before me had clearly adopted Li Shuang's methods. They intended to drain the wealthy households of the East District dry before slaughtering them all. This is bad. Thought I'm the most destitute household in East Asia. With my family's decline known to all, I still live here. I'll still be mistaken for a wealthy man. If I stay any longer, sooner or later I'll end up like the other wealthy households, repeatedly plundered by the demon souls until nothing remains. But by then, not only would I die, but with the place gesunken, even little Jan wouldn't be safe. I must escape now. In panic, I slid down the pile of clutter, stumbled toward the left chamber, and began frantically packing. I had to take all the valves I could carry. Thought the only exit was the courtyard gate, and the eagle demon stood guard not far beyond it. It remained dozens of steps away from my gate. If I could just dash out the courtyard and turn right without hesitation, I could vanish into the maze of narrow alleys nearby and lose him. Quick, take the silver, run outside, turn right, just bolt through the door, sprint across the street at full speed, clear that hallway. I will escape this cursed district. As I marched into the left chamber, fumbling to pry open the chest and grab the silver, the relentless knocking struck again, more frenzied and more savage than ever. Zio, someone's here. Little Anne peeked out from under the bed, her voice quivering with terror. I nodded gravely, my heart pounding so violently it threatened to leap from my throat. My hands never stopped moving, rummaging frantically until I seized the heavy tentacles of silver and stuffed them adversely into my robe. As I shoved the silver away, a thought flashed through my mind like lightning. No, hiding little Jan under the bed in the left chamber is still too dangerous. The silver chest is in the left chamber. If the demon soldiers search the house, they will spot the bed immediately. Little Jan will be exposed. She must remain hiding in the right chamber corner, inside that dust-covered vat. Only there, where no ordinary person will ever look, lay the best hiding place in the courtyard. You, get back in the wine vat this time. I hastily tucked the last of silver into my robe and bolted for the courtyard gate, barking orders at little Jan. The wine's vat cooled and down. She hesitated, her small face etched with reluctance as she stared at me. We'll be dead if you hesitate. Forget the cold. Move. My expression was rigid, my voice sharper than ever. She needed to grasp the severity of this. Fine. Just sighed by my harsh words, she pursued her lips in hard silence, crawling out from beneath the bed with sluggish reluctance before shuffling toward the frigid wine vat. She bore no resemblance whatsoever to the resolute Sister Jan of my memories. Rather, she mirrored my own hesitant childhood self. Jan, sister? What's happening? Someone conscious part of me insisted little Jan was older. That she was my elder sister? Then, does that mean Su Lianyan is older than me as well? More frantic and violent banging on the door snapped me out of my thoughts. Whoever outside was clearly seething with rage. Call me, I'm coming. Whether the demon saw it outside understood or not, I didn't care. I shouted back at the top of my lungs and dashed toward the gate like the wind. Just as I was about to cross the threshold of the left chamber, something on the bedside table caught the corner of my eye. It was a small razor, its blade no longer than a palm, yet gleaming with a cold, sharp silver light. Oh, this shaving knife, purchased half a year ago, has mostly served for shaving. Young so is renowned for three blades: chef's knife, the pedicure knife, and this very shaving knife. Small as it is, the blade is unnervingly sharp. Once drunk and unsteady, I recall the edge nicking my chin, leaving a faint scar. Tucking it close on my person is practical. I'll take it. I see the shaving knife, gripping it tight in my fist, and hurried to the door. I heaved open the weighty courtyard gate. Outside the door stood an eagle demon clad in red armor. His brows were tight-knit, thin lips pressing into a stern line beneath that hooked nose, clearly seeping from the long wait. His towering frame blocked our way, casting a shadow that swallowed me whole. I knew him moments earlier when old man Lin arrived with that white armor leopard demon demanding money. This eagle demon had been lurking dozens of paces away watching. He was stationed here solely to keep us fat sheep from escaping. His hawk-like gaze racked over me, sharp with appraisal and anger. Hey, hand over the silver, he spoke. His voice was hoarse, yet his words were clear. How could this creature understand human speech? That's unexpected. If this creature can communicate, it might simplify things. Then let's try talking to him. My lord, you saw it yourself. 2 other soldiers already came demanding silver. I'm truly penniless now. I put on a pitiful face, trying to plead my case. You must still have silver. Don't think you can fool me. Hand it over now. I'll spare your life. His face darkened with a chilling expression as he continued to demand money from me. Then, how much do you want? Take me inside. I want to see for myself how much silver you have. The eagle demon's expression turned grim as he ironically jerked his thin chin toward the house, his tone brooking no argument. I hesitated, staring at him uncertainly, unsure of what to do. What should I do? Let him in, Uli just robbed me of everything, refuse him, how could possibly fend him off? Should I offer the 10 tails from my pocket send him away? Or should I seize the moment of his invitation to fight desperately with a shaving knife hiding in my hand? Locked in the right chamber? No, you don't want to lock. Forget, better to play it safe, let me enter first, then find an opportunity to act. The East District is no a place to linger. I plan to escape anyway. What does it matter if he takes everything in this house? Very well, my lord, please follow me. I forced a strained smile, stepping aside, and unsure at the red-armored eagle demon inside. He swaggered across the threshold, his eagle-like eyes sharp as lightning, clearly scanning my humble courtyard, as if calculate how much more could be hungered from it. My gaze remained locked on him, my heart lodged in my throat. Had he hidden well enough? He won't discover, right? Where's Silver? Besides that, what else of all do you have here? He demanded as he strode forward, impatient raising his voice. All the valves are in the left chamber. This way, my lord. Suppressing my pounding heart, I stood guiding him toward the left chamber. He stepped inside first, his eyes swept in the room. I followed him inside, forced to calm as I hauled the silver-laden chest onto the bed. Fingers trembled while prying open the unlocked lid. The lifted lid revealed a gleaming hoard, pale silver and jeweled ornaments dazzling the eye. Thought much silver had been spent earlier to repel the boar demon and leopard demon. The dim light still made the chest seem brimming. The remaining chivalry's glow landing in fullness. The red armor eagle demon's gaze locked onto the chest of treasures, his eyes alight with ravenous greed. He thrust his clouded talons onto the chest without hesitation, greedily seizing fistfuls of silver and jewels. I fixed my eyes on his back, his entire focus consumed by the treasure, when a thought struck me like lightning. A chance. This was our only chance. The eagle demon was the sole center nearby. If I could just take him down, Ian and I could break free. Run. I must escape. Hold my note and that blood-curdling scream rang like funeral bells in my ears. East District has become a land of death. Staying here means certain doom. Now, right now, while his back is turned, completely defenseless, I must do something. Should I stab? I must do something. I held my breath, fingers clenched around the razor. The blade is as thin as paper, but right now it might as well cut through anything. I lock onto the red armor eagle, the bare skin at his nape, like a lone skiff or dead calm waters. My razor hums in my hand, a thunderbolt ready to split that flimsy boat in two. Whoosh! I suddenly swung my arm, launching a surprise attack behind it. The knife bit deep, hitting the vein in his neck, dead on, blood sprayed. Good, this demon soul was too busy drooling over my silver tails to watch his back. This strike was the best I could pull off. Damn it, this razor is too short and dull, otherwise I'll have skewered the eagle demon right through. The red armor eagle demon howled, twisting violently as his iron scale armor clattered. Then I saw it, his eyes glowing red with fury. You are dead meat. His sword nearly split my hated drums. Immediately after, he lifted his foot, and the sole of large leather boot grew larger and larger in front of my eyes, before landing heavily on my chest. Agony crashed over me like a tidal wave. I flew backward like a cut puppet and slammed into the corner of the left chamber. That hurt like hell. I looked up in despair as the red armor eagle demon advanced toward me. His face was pale, one hand clutching his bleeding wound, and the razor still lodging in his neck, the other groping for the waist dagger behind his back. He slowly drew the waist dagger from behind his back. The blade pierced my threadbare clothes and sank heavily into my gut. I felt it feebly, the icy steel creeping, tearing, twisting inside me. Inscrutable pain lanced through me, blood surged up my chest and into my mouth. The sensation made me feel close to death, but it also ignited my last shred of defiance. You're gonna die too. I roared in rage, fueled by a sudden surge of strength. I lunged at him like a wild beast, slamming him to the ground. I coughed up blood from my throat, splatting into his eyes, blinding him, seizing the moment while his eyes were shut. Ignoring the knife buried in my gut, I kept charging forward and viciously grabbed the razor hanging from his neck. I clutched the razor with every ounce of strength. I twisted violently, carving, tearing, painting his neck in blood. Blood sprayed violently. Some even hit my face, blurring my sight. He shrieked, blood now gushing from both of us. He struggled, but we were locked together, impossible to tear apart. His blade ran me through, mine ran him through. His trashy mess bleed faster, harder. Soon he stopped struggling, glaring at me with bitter resignation, like he'll accept his fate. Well, that's it. Both of us are good as that. On the first day the city fell, I traded my life evenly with this butcher and his slaughtering blade. It's this tight embrace, twisted like some lover suicide, that turns my stomach. Oh wait, I don't have a stomach anymore. It was pulverized ages ago. You see who? Then I heard her scream my name. Little Yan came sobbing from the right chamber, ran across the courtyard and dropped to her knees beside my bleeding body. See you, don't die, please don't die. My corpse pinned the half-dead eagle demon beneath me. Her body dropped over mine as she wept, her tear-streaked face flushed red from crying. I tried to turn toward her, but couldn't. So I had no choice but to keep my back to her, my back to death, until my eyes shut, until death darkness swallowed me whole. After death's darkness swallowed me whole, then it hit me. Weird. Why could I still see her crying behind me, her face drenched in tears? Whatever, doesn't matter, I can't handle this anymore. I sighed helplessly in my heart. Letting go of my thoughts, I submerged myself into the darkness, into death. Death. So probably it needs to be lock. I don't even know. Choose specific. No, that one is locked. I don't even know where I am. This part still? Where else is that then? I don't know why it is that thing. Okay, so I must do some. A shot of blood rushed to my head. I drew a sharp breath and turned my eyes piercing into innocent. This silver and jewels in the left chamber. Let them be price for my life. I still have 10 tails stuck in my robe. I must escape with you now. I lurched backwards and my hand snapping to the edge of the left chamber's wooden doors, and with every ounce of strength I wrenched them shut. Hey, what are you doing? The eagle demon caught the movement behind it and spun around, before he could clearly see my movement. The heavy wooden door was slammed shut with both hands. He stunned the expression out into a dark slit and vanished. The door collided with the frame with a thunderous crash. After shutting the door, I threw myself to the ground, snatched the discarded door bolt, and drove it into the latch faster than ever. The bolt clocked the left chamber. The red armored eagle demon was now trapped inside. Lydian, get out now! After ensuring the door was locked, I shouted toward the right chamber. From behind the door came the eagle demon furious roars and the sound of frantically slamming against the wood. The entire door trembled violently. I couldn't hesitate. I whirled it around and dashed toward the right chamber. By the time I reached the courtyard, I saw little Yan tumbling out of the wine vat in panic, staggering toward me in sheer terror. Xiao, we fought letting her finish. I gripped her icy hand and dragged her outside like an arrow shot from a bow. Don't ask, just run. I whispered, my gaze locked onto the wall behind the courtyard gate, my footsteps never faltering. I dragged her along, stumbling through the wind as we crashed past the threshold. I led her across the rain-puddled streets, each step kicking up sprays of mud and droplets. I couldn't see the expression on her face behind me, only feel her frantic stumbling steps, the slight tremble of her small hand in my palm. In this state I likely resemble her from all those years ago. Run! After 14 years I uttered the same phrase she once did. That year at the Inchin Salt Pond, the 11-year-old girl dragged 9-year-old me from our cage, sprinting toward the unknown. Now roles reversed, I'm the one pulling her from the brink. Time fleets, years blur, 14 years vanish in an instant, leaving no room for reflection. Finally, this time, it's my hand clasping her, spearheading our desperate flight. And it ends like that. Like, the problem is that, when the full game comes out, it's gonna be like, of course I'm not gonna do a full playthrough of this game, because it's a lot of reading, but like, the problem is that the damn, it's like almost 2 hours long. Because like, it takes a lot of reading, and it's like, what, 3 chapters? Of course, there will be the Remembrance of Chapter 3, because each one has like the chronicle, that is like what's happening right now, and Remembrance, that is him remembering the past about the Lu Sanian, so it's like each chapter will have that, the reality, what's happening, and the past for you to remember. So that always takes time. It's always a nice game if you like this type of games, visual novels. If you play the other one, of course, again, this is a standalone sequel, but you don't play with the same characters. uh, you can download the demo, try it, and if you like it, don't forget to add to your wishlist, because it always helps the developers and the game to get more visibility on Steam. But again, it's one of those games that it will take time. You need to read. Then there's choice, there's death. As you saw, there was death because I didn't do the right choice. There was bugs. Those few times that was like repeating stuff. Because it was in a different scene, but you see what he was being telling, what he was telling at the same time, but then it will repeat because you needed to be in that scene. So there was like 2 times that bugged out, which is weird. But I don't even know if those scenes were the character was thinking and talking. Uh, belong to the game, or those scenes aren't supposed to exist. I don't know, because it was weird. But yeah, you need to like visual novels. If you don't like visual novels, it can be hard. You can always give it a try to see if you like it or not, but it can always be hard because you need to have played visual novels. Because if you never play a visual novel, it's gonna be hard to get uh, familiarize with it. So, but you can always give it a try. There's the demo. Try it out, and if you like it, don't forget to add to wishlist. So hope you guys enjoyed, and see you on next time.